Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. Welcome to another BNB Chain AMA. Today, I'm accompanied by Ian, the business development at Metaverse World FNCY, FNCY, and Freddie, he's the head of growth at Nodereal. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Our title today is Fancy Mainnet with Nodereal. How are you guys utilizing BNB sidechains? For a very, very quick overcap, this is what we'll be going to today. Ian, I would like to allow you a few minutes to give everyone that's listening to us the introduction about FNCY and the rebranding that you've been going through currently.
Yeah, thank you. Let me just pull up my presentation slides real quick. Are you able to see this?
We are able to see it. We can't hear it if you're playing audio.
Oh, no, there's no audio. All right. So yeah, to introduce our project is FNCY, or pronounced Fancy, and it's our new branding. And it's not only our new branding, but it's also the name of our mainnet that we're launching very soon. It's also the name of our new token, Fancy. And basically, there's two main meanings behind fancy. First, it's a homophone of the word fancy, signifying us being very extravagant and trendy. And it's also another meaning is a tribute to our parent company, Netmarble FNC, with it being read out as FNC. And as mentioned, it's not only a rebranding for the sake of having a new name and a new title and a new design, but it's also an opportunity for us to introduce our own original mainnet with this rebranding. And with it, it also marks a new start, a new beginning for our project. We were very selective in onboarding the type of entertainment content, from games to comics and webtoons and web novels. And what we're striving to do is to become the go-to platform where decentralization connects diverse content under the same roof. And going even further from that, we're also preparing a metaverse. And in that metaverse, it'll ultimately virtualize all of the IPs that we have on the Fancy platform and onto the metaverse that we're developing. And today, we also have Freddie from Nodereal, that I would like to give him the space to introduce Nodereal and himself as well. Let me just stop sharing here.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Ahmad, for having me here today, right? Hi, everyone. I'm Freddie, and I'm head of growth with Nodereal team. And great to be here together with all of you to talk about the Fancy Chain and the upcoming launch, right? So before we get started and all that, I think a lot of exciting things are happening and along the course and all that, right? So do search up Nodereal, Fancy, and BNB Chain. Make sure to follow us on our Twitter's accounts and all that. A lot more announcements that's upcoming, especially on the mainnet is launching soon, right? So stay tuned with the excitement on the entertainment mainnet that's upcoming, right? So some of the activities that are coming as well. So just a little bit and very quickly on Nodereal, we are a blockchain infrastructure company, right? So where we aim to provide a one-stop infrastructure solutions for all the projects or enterprise level, meaning to say that we wanting to provide everything as a holistic solutions for the projects themselves. That's where later we will dive into a little bit more about how one-stop solutions actually help Fancy and Ian will discuss a little bit more about the things that we have done and how we actually come to that collaborations, and in terms of how we bring in innovations to the chain as well. So in all, I think all of us, the three of us that are sitting here, we share the same analogy that we wanting to bring in mass adoption in the next phase. So these are some of the work or some of the initiatives that we are doing and even driving towards this direction. So that's very simply about where we are and how we are coming to this stage, and we're going to go into more details of that.
Thank you very much for that quick introduction, Ian. Thank you very much, Freddie. Ian, I'm going to get back to you and ask, why have you decided to do a complete rebranding? if you would do a comparison for us for before and after, that would also clear it up for everyone that's listening.
Right. Yeah. So from item games to item cube to now fancy, we've come a long way since our beginning, since our inception. And we've accomplished a lot of milestones and a lot of challenges. But to be honest, admittedly, not everything went as smoothly and as we expected. But that's all a part about the unpredictable journey of business and the space of blockchain and Web3. But we do have a destination that we're striving for, and although it's not 100% as we expected at the moment, that's perfectly fine with us. It's all a part of like the bigger picture, and we're trying to see the macro and a macro sense. And so our mission from Cube was to provide all forms of entertainment on a single unified place. And although this still holds true with the Fancy platform and the rebranding to Fancy, our goal has also grown proportionately to our accomplishments. Yes, we still do strive to become the best in class entertainment platform, but we're also now able to provide so much more because we have our own mainnet launching. With our own chain, there's solutions to hurdles that we faced before, such as lower transaction rates and lower gas or faster transaction rates and lower gas fees. And this was all made possible because we've made the partnership with Nodereal. And I'll let Freddie get into this more into detail with the Fancy and Nodereal partnership.
Sure, sure. So I think to chip it in and also, or maybe a step back, right? So also more of what's the next step looking like, how we actually come to this, right? I think this partnership actually demonstrates a very good Web3 spirit, and we wanted to use this as a focus and as an example as well, that it could be replicated as a success to other enterprise that are looking to do, bridging from Web2 to Web3 or even in the gaming space as well. So this is a very good use case, and I wanted to further elaborate a little bit on this point, right? In a way that the rebranding comes meaningful because there are a lot of new elements or innovative components that have been introduced, right? So all three parties that we are here today, like Nodereal, BNB Chain, and Fancy, we actually focus on making this possible. Even with Fancy, right, they wanted to build the best-in-class entertainment, and Nodereal actually focuses a lot more on providing infrastructure that support this vision as well. Just to elaborate a little bit more, right, on what we have done and our strength in this space is that as a one-stop solution infrastructure provider, we have encompass everything as a one-stop shop, like say for example, starting from very simple of a testnet for testing environments, right? We even have faucets that we build together for projects to actually try it out in the testing environment, how conducive is it, and how easily to build and use on transactions and all that, right? So those are the things that we also do, and even comes to customizations of validator sets and even smart contract, right? Those are the things that we discuss both of the teams as well, to make sure that whatever we build, actually at the end of the day, it boils down to the business directions of Fancy as well. And further a lot more on that, we do a lot of consultations and brainstorming work together, like even like tokenomics and even more of the infra, and especially on the user journey itself. Even we always go back to the whiteboard just to make sure that the experience has been seamless for them, to make sure that there wasn't other hurdles of coming into the blockchain or coming to the app whenever they want to transact off their NFTs or their tokens and all. And what more that we provided from there, right, is actually also explorers. We do testnets, mainnet, explorers, faucets. So all these that you can imagine that is needed for application chain, right, is actually provided in Nodereal by Nodereal as well. So where explorer we can use to study data and also user behaviors. So this tells a very powerful story in a way that we really make sure that we have the right components and right players in this as well, just to make sure that this is driving to the right directions and also providing bringing in promote mass adoptions. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ian, and thank you very much, Freddie, for that explanation. We really appreciate to see that happening. And Ian, I wanted to tell you that we're very glad that you had a bumpy ride. Every successful project usually starts with bumpy rides in the beginning, specifically in Web3. I wanted to ask you if you can share with us a little bit of the short-term outlook and the long-term outlook of FNCY. How are you going to start in the next period, and what would be the long-term strategy that the community should expect from you?
Yeah, so our core objective remains the same, which is to deliver unlimited entertainment in a single unified place. But how do we define entertainment? We see entertainment as anything that brings joy to our users. This can be in the form of games, webcomics, webtoons, movies, dramas, you name it. But we also believe that it isn't only restricted to online. From concerts to club events to sporting events, recreational activities, to even like e-commerce, the line between on and offline will be blurred in a natural and seamless way, or we're trying to blur that line. And so in the short term, we have a lot of games in our lineup that's in preparation to be released. With Meta Football being released this month, it has already been released this month. And Meta Football, to give a brief intro, is a sports game. It's a soccer game timed for the World Cup that's taking place right now. The P2E element for the game right now hasn't been added to the current version, but that's coming within the next few months. On the more long-term horizon, we've got other services such as webtoons and web novels, and also e-commerce coming out very soon. And another service that we're very excited to be introducing is called NFT Pass, which is where users will be able to utilize their NFTs that they purchase or get airdropped as tickets to offline events, such as concerts or like soccer games, baseball games. So yeah, that's how we're trying to bridge the gap between on and offline. Yeah, long story short, we're of course we are offering all forms of content that we've been having before, but on top of that, we're also trying to build and further the entertainment content that we have.
Thank you very much for that, Eon. But would you please explain to me, to everybody that's listening, the motive behind your newly found main focus? What drove you that direction, and what will be the steps that you will be taking in order to move that direction forward?
Yeah, so I think we can define our main focus into three different parts. First being seamless experience, the second being scalability, and then the third being interoperability. To get into these more in detail, first, seamless experience. We believe that one of the core essentials of using a product or a service, regardless of it being Web 2 or Web 3, is the ease of use. It has to be easy for the users to use. In a red ocean of entertainment services, there's a plethora of platforms users can choose from. And so we ask the question, why should they choose us? Why should they choose FNCY? This is why we seek to be a holistic entertainment platform where the experience is unmatched in other places. So like unlike other places that just has games, unlike other places that just streams content, unlike other places that just has like e-commerce for shopping, we're trying to combine all of those places into a single place. Next, scalability. What we define us apart from other competitors and other companies is our focus on the macro, like mentioned before. We aren't only focused on Web3, and not only focused on Web3 and like blockchain and Web3 enthused people, but our target is all users, all general users. This means traditional gamers should be able to come onto our platform without little to like no knowledge of blockchain and use our services and interact and have a good time. And the third is interoperability. So the Web3 movement isn't only about us. It's about the mutual growth of the industry and the space itself and cooperation. This is why we're constantly sourcing and partnering with various like-minded teams and game companies, music companies, companies, content, any forms of content that can add value to our platform and our service. We're talking to them and we're getting partnerships with them. And ultimately, through these partnerships that we make, we foresee numerous projects of infinite possibility taking place within the common denominator of what we call FNCY. And we found that all three of these factors can be made possible with the help of Nodereal, which is why we decided to work with Nodereal in creating our mainnet. yeah, Freddie, can you explain more about your focal points at Nodereal?
Yep, sure. I think in this instance, I think Yon already sums up a very good summary on these focuses and all that on these 3 points, right? So how Node actually plays a part and a vital role in making this happen, right? I think today it is more crucial in a way that how we actually bring these ideas and all that actually come to life and on mainnet as well. And in terms of capabilities and all that, right? In terms of tech and all that, I think both of our teams are really is very strong and in the background space in the way that we actually can come up with a solution and ideas and all that, right? So actually thinking about it, right, just to share a little bit on this AMA, I wanted to also share a little bit of sneak peek and all that. I think a lot of capabilities and all that will be experienced by the new users when they come on board and when the mainnet go live, right? Is that you will see that there are improvement being done for special transactions and even like for airdrops and all that, right? How we actually customize that to make sure that the experience is good, like for new users coming to the chain, block reward distributions of the validator set and all that, how we customize to make it faster, right? So that on that as well, we also have governance as a solutions for the validators as well. So those are the things that are little things, but a very important component in making where not only user journey is impeccable, but also make sure that the mainnet and all that is secure and is flexible enough as well. So driving into that, right, I think as the user base grows and all that, right, projects and the enterprise will start to ask that what more can we do from there. I think those are the things that in innovations that we are in discussions with FNCY right now, and wanting to make sure that there are next phase, there are next improvements and all that, right? Thinking about how innovations that actually continues to help in this use case. So say for example, if today the sidechain has been maxed out, we still have ZK solutions that's upcoming and all that as well. So those are the things on the innovation side and how we actually intended to roll out. I think in terms of interoperability, right, you will simply see that FNCY is actually a very flexible chain that's able to work with other networks. And on top of that, right, we actually source out as a one-stop solutions ourselves. We actually provide everything encompassed into one, right? Say for example, like bridging partners and even security components as well. So these are the things that we take initiatives on managing and also leading it, just to make sure that FNCY actually continue to focus on providing a platform for users for entertainments to come on in and bringing on the chain, right? So my part and my role here with Nodereal together is that make sure that it's scalable when the mainnet grows and all that, how we can actually make sure that the experience is continuously good in that way. Now, what makes FNCY a little bit different and exciting is that I think there are a lot more things that I think Yon actually just bring it through. There are a lot more entertainment companies, like even for using the NFT use cases, even meta football GameFi, play to earn and all that. All these can be used within in the FNCY chain as well. So you will see a lot more activities and excitement in this way, in the way that it's not only for one type of users, or if I'm playing football I'll come into this, but it's more towards like it's a chain for the one-stop like entertainment, and that's where it makes this all exciting. And I would say that stay tuned and look forward to this.
Thank you very much, Ian and Freddie, for that elaborate answer. Ian, I believe this would be more directed towards you. What should be the users expecting in terms of user journey when it comes to the token swap specifically?
Yeah, so for the token swap, if you have your item cube tokens on a centralized exchange like MEXC or CoinOne, you don't have to do anything. The item cube token will automatically be swapped to the new FNCY token at a 1-to-1 ratio by the centralized exchanges. But please also note that the total supply has been reduced by 10-to-1. However, as mentioned, the swap ratio will be 1-to-1, which means that the value that that each of your token holds will remain the same. As for users holding item cube tokens in their personal wallets, a bridge service will be opened upon the launch of our mainnet. So you'll be able to swap your item cube tokens to the new FNCY token. And as well for this, the swap ratio will be 1-to-1. Yeah, so any like further updates and announcements regarding the token swap and all of these details will be announced very soon. So yeah, if you're following the new fancy social media channels and the Telegram, you'll be able to check out updates there.
Well, that works great with your seamless approach to the experience.
Exactly.
Everything will go well with that. Would you please explain to me the roadmap of the upcoming month?
Yeah, so as you probably have seen in the intro slide, we're currently collaborating with various projects, and we have a lot of various games of various genres and services in preparation for the onboarding of FNCY. First, we've not only got like games from our parent company, Netmarble, but we've also partnered with numerous third-party companies as well. And so the FNCY platform will be a digital distribution and virtual library of diverse games. And also, like I mentioned, there's going to be comics and novels that's going to be added to our FNCY platform. And we currently have more than 170 titles secured, and it's only growing even more. It won't be like your typical like read to earn platform, but we also have like UGC elements built in, and also interactive UX and UI so that the users can enjoy it more. And we also have music and commerce onboarding very soon. So like we're giving value to like musicians and artists to express their creation in further ways, and also for sellers and buyers to be able to transact on those as well. And finally, one of the biggest projects that we're also working on, I can't reveal much details on this yet, but as you can see from our company name, Metaverse World, we are building a quote unquote out of this world metaverse right now. And yeah, Freddie, any updates from Nodereal and roadmap from Nodereal?
Yep. That is. I think I'll stick with FNCY right now, right? So with FNCY, I think the work doesn't just stop here and all that, right? So a lot more work has been done behind the scene in discussions and all that, right? How to continue to improve on this experience and this journey. I think once we fix this and go on to mainnet and all that, right? There are new improvements that we wanted to bring in, especially on the Explorer side of things, and even in the chain as well. So even like APIs, we wanted to make sure that whenever there are builders and all that comes on to FNCY, they have those required documents and even documents and tools for their needs as well. Just imagine today, like FNCY is already live and on mainnet. There are potential partners or collaborators that wanted to collaborate with FNCY and all that. They can actually look out on their documents, and those are the things that we wanted to make it seamless for their developers and all that as well. So that's on the FNCY that I can share as much. So that is on the upcoming and the interesting side of things. And for Nodereal, I think we will continue to introduce a little bit of differences in the way that in terms of product, we are doing revamps and all that, just to make sure that we continue to encourage more of examples like how Netmarble FNCY is today. So like how they wanted to bridge over to Web 2 to Web 3, and these are the tools that we are able to provide for them as enterprise solutions. So I think a lot more is really updated on our website, especially on APIs, enterprise solutions, and even our very own product today we discuss here, Simita. I think this is a good time to really just focus on build and partnerships together with all these friends and projects around, just to make this period worthwhile in building and learn from one another.
Thank you very much for that, Freddie. But that was also a little bit too focused on FNCY. What's new with Nodereal in terms of roadmap moving forward?
Yeah, I think for Nodereal side of things, right? We are wanting to go on to make sure that we are supporting more chains from there on. So just to make sure that when FNCY all come on board, right? So if there's another example, we wanted to make sure the interoperability is being able to replicate across. I think for us, I think we are working together with BNB chain right now to make sure that the next innovative solution that is upcoming is the ZK BNB, which they announced about a month or two ago, right? So now it's more towards making it happen and bringing it to life as well. So ZK BNB solution is one. I think there are a lot more, in terms of product wise, we wanted to be able to provide a lot more APIs, SDKs to the developers and all that. So other than FNCY Chain, I think Nodereal has been a very strong collaborators with the BNB chain in terms of providing from basic level of RPC and node services to APIs to even consultations and all that, right? So we do that all together. Hence the slogan of one-stop solution, right? So that's where we wanted to focus on building and all that as well.
Thank you very much for that, Freddie. And we're more than happy to keep seeing more innovation and more innovative solutions for the problems that we're facing today from Nodereal. Thank you very much, Leon. That would be the conclusion of my questions today. If you would like to add anything else before we maybe take a few questions from the audience.
Sure, sounds good.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Adi's asking, what about the games you launch in the blockchain? What's happening with these launches? Are they still on time?
Yeah. So if you look on our new website, FNCY.world, you'll be able to see the upcoming games to be released on our platform. Like I mentioned, we've got Meta Football released, but the P2E version of that is coming very soon. And from our website, you can also see that we've got other P2E games launching very soon, as well as non-P2E games. We've revealed, or Netmarble has revealed 2 games that's going to be onboarding on our platform at G-Star last week. So Arthal Chronicles is one of them. Very looking forward to onboarding these games on our platform very soon.
That's lovely. And I have a few questions. Everybody seems to want to know if LOM will still be under Cube Fancy, and is it under FNCY Mainnet?
Sorry, you cut off a little bit, so I couldn't understand the question.
The questions that we're getting online, what's the future of LOM? Is it still going to be under the FNCY Mainnet?
LOM, we are still in discussions internally regarding that game. So we're going to be updating the community on Telegram and our social media platforms.
Great. And how about gas fees? Is it free in centralized exchanges?
So for our gas fee, it's going to be elastic gas fees. So depending on the transactions and stuff, it's going to be elastic.
Fair enough. I believe that's the end of the questions today. Thank you very much for your time, Eon. Thank you very much for your time, Freddie. Please let me know if you'd like to add anything else.
No, thank you for your time. I would just like to say we've got brand new social media channels and a Telegram community with the launch of FNCY. So be sure to follow us on there as well.
Great. Thank you both for your time, guys. This has been your host, Ahmed Haimar. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and see you in the next AMA on BNB chain. Have a great day, everybody.